So this is really not any new news because by now I'm sure y'all have already heard about the speculation, the rumors revolving around the Switch 2, which still has no name. You know what I really liked? I really liked when the Switch was called the NX. I still like the NX more than I like the Switch, but I got the Switch. I mean, it's obvious. The rumors say that the Switch 2 will be around the first quarter of 2025, which, I mean, would make it a full 8 years after the original Switch dropped in 2017, in March 3rd, 2017. The initial news was reported pretty much on every outlet, the Twitter box, excuse me, I mean X, IGN, Kotaku, all of the other big places if you care to believe those, because you know how they be sometimes. I personally hadn't been talking about anything Switch 2 or Switch 2 related for what it feels like years now, because look, I'm at the point I'm gonna believe it when I see it. And for real, us as gamers, let's think about it. We just got greedy and impatient because the original Nintendo lasted from like 85 all the way to the mid 90s. That Super Nintendo was still making systems and stuff in Japan in the early millennium when it dropped in 1991. And we're not even going to get into the Wii or to the PlayStation 2, which you still can find games there at a bargain bin somewhere at Walmart or Target, which is crazy. You guys also heard about the Xbox. Well, Phil Spencer was just announced that the Xbox ain't going nowhere. It was word on the web was that they were going to be doing a whole Sega and transforming themselves into a third-party company, which, I mean, if they did do that, it would fit with their agenda. At least it seems like. I was debating with somebody on one of these social mediums because they got very offended when I said Xbox ain't got no games.
Well, what do you mean? The Game Pass.
Bruh. The Game Pass is not the same thing as the Xbox. Yeah, it's both Microsoft, but I don't have an Xbox One and I play the games on the Game Pass on PC, which means I have the service and not the console. If I don't have Nintendo or Switch, I can't play Metroid Dread or Breath of the Wild or any of their IPs. The same thing with, well, Sony. Sony, you can kind of get away with it because they start migrating to, you know, the PC and stuff to get more bucks. And speaking of Sony, this is why I had titled the video and wanted to talk about the weird state of video games, is because it feels like ever since the video game market and System Miasma in 2020 especially, but a little bit before that, once they realized that video games was big business and that it was making more money than the music industry and it was making more money than the movie industry, it start becoming like a corporation. More ports, more remakes, and more remasters instead of actually taking that chance and that shot to make a new game to get new fans and have new IPs. Sometimes when we're playing games, I don't know about y'all, but it feels like I've been there, done that, and played it again. Matter of fact, I was one of the few fools to buy The Last of Us remastered when it dropped a couple years ago for 77 bucks California state tax, and it's the same damn game. I will not buy the second one, and yes, I have it for PS4, and I'm not even bothering to upload it because I already been there, I already done that, and I don't necessarily need to see Joel and Ellie with human flesh like mine. You know, I already played the game. PlayStation is going to be not making any games anymore. No more games until, what did they say, 2025? Which is weird because just like what Square Enix did, these companies are overestimating what they think fans want, and they're not really talking to us as fans, if that makes sense. That's why they continue to keep going back to these old Final Fantasy VII stories, because stories in games like 16 did well, but not like they thought it was going to do. Look at what just happened to Starfield. So a lot of companies are hurt in their feelings. How is this, Sony, the middle or the end of your life cycle? And we're sitting here complaining about the Switch lasting for 8 long years. And look at Sony, it's only been, what, 4 years, and they already talking about retiring the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One XXXX111 whatever binary code. They this is why I say, you know, and I can't believe there's still console wars and stuff like that, y'all, but it is, and it's crazy. Buy a game or buy a system for the games that you like to play. I like RPGs. If Xbox got RPGs or Game Pass, which they do, that's why I have Game Pass and I don't have the $500 plastic of the Xbox, which I wanted it more than the PlayStation 5, but guess what? Guess what? The PlayStation had the games I wanted to play, which were role-playing games. So the same thing goes with Nintendo Switch. But anyway, that's all I got to say. I just thought it was crazy because it's a lot of stuff going on in the whole medium of gaming right now, and I just wanted to get on here and talk about it. But what do y'all think? How are y'all feeling as gamers with this new, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not advent, but this new wave of how business is starting to influence the gaming industry and is becoming more about, of course, making money, because this is a business, than actually sitting and having games and playing games. What do y'all think? If you did like the video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all things games and all things RPGs, sprinkled always with some of that geek, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, remember to eat, geek, sleep, repeat. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Deuces.